YouTube. So, it's late at night and stuff, so I'm gonna talk kind of quietly. Sorry. I also just took a shower, so I have no makeup on, and my hair's not done. So I'm like semi-hiding under this blanket. I don't know why. It's not like you haven't seen me like that before, but it's just, blech. Um. Anyway, how are you doing today? I'm having kind of a weird day, to be honest. I just feel like I don't know what it is, but I just feel kind of like randomly, this is gonna sound so weird, I just feel like randomly lonely, even though I shouldn't at all. I don't know why. There are so many of you out on the internet, and you're all there, and if I complain or rejoice or whatever on Twitter, a ton of you respond, and you interact so well in these videos, and I'm not traveling, so I'm like home, and there was this big birthday party with my friends, so I was with like a huge table at dinner with all of my friends tonight, and I'm not home alone or anything, and I'm not traveling, so like I said, I'm home. I just feel kind of lonely. More like mentally lonely. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's kind of an off day for me. Do you ever feel lonely, even though you're like surrounded by people and stuff? Murph, it's a weird feeling. Yeah. But don't worry or anything. Everything's okay. I just feel lonely. It's strange. Um, but one of the reasons that I'm making this video, because I've already posted a video today, this is going to be my vlog for tomorrow. It's coming out a little early because I'm going to film a video tomorrow, but I need your help writing the script, or at least offering up nuggets that will help inspire me write a script. So, it's a collab video that's being posted August 5th with Hannah Witten, and it's an awesome video, and it could stand alone, but I really like to clearly articulate my points. So there's going to be like an intermittent Ashley voiceover narrator moderator cutaway thing that's going to happen. But basically, what me and Hannah talk about in the video is the dynamic, or the difference in dynamic between friends who have the same sexual orientation and friends who have different sexual orientations. So the dynamic between straight and straight friendships and straight and queer friendships, kind of. And in my opinion, so far, this is kind of what I talk about. Is it totally all depends. In some, it like depends on your friend, and it depends on both of the friends, not just the straight friend, not just if the straight friend is accepting or awkward, or, but also how like self-conscious and insecure maybe the queer friend is. It totally depends. However, typically, often, I think it is fair to say that it is not unlikely for there to exist a difference in the dynamic. And what I think is interesting is I asked this on Twitter, Tumblr, and now I'm going to ask it now on this second channel YouTube video, and we'll see what the comments say. But on Twitter and Tumblr, I had like a flood of responses, and I would say that the responses were about 50-50. 50% of the responses were saying there's no difference in dynamic, and then 50% of the responses were like, yeah, there's definitely a difference in dynamic. And what I think is interesting, though, is that the 50% of responses who said there was no difference in dynamic almost always started with, I am straight, but so many of my best friends are gay. I don't think there's a difference. But then the responses that said there was a difference in the dynamic started with, I'm gay, and sometimes I definitely notice a difference. So, and this wasn't always the case. Sometimes it started out with, I'm gay and there is no difference. But that was just like a major trend that I noticed. And I thought maybe that like reflected, okay, don't get mad at me. I'm just like observing things and trying to draw conclusions. But I thought that maybe reflected kind of like a hetero privilege, that maybe not always, this is, we don't do generalizations in my area of the internet, but not always, but sometimes there's a trend that sometimes maybe heterosexual people are blind to this difference in dynamic because they have this privilege and then aren't forced to notice this difference, while queer people, on the other hand, are kind of forced to notice this difference and see this difference. And so the difference that I'm talking about could be things like this here. I have like notes somewhere. Oh yeah, okay. So I'm not going to be very articulate in this video because I'm basically asking you to help me be articulate. That like when you have a friend and they're straight and then later you come out to them, that maybe the dynamic changes because like a few people sent me messages on Tumblr and they were like after I came out to my friend, there was this strange sexual tension. They started asking me weird questions like, do I find them attractive? Am I attracted to them? Had I ever been attracted to them? If they were gay, like would they like be potentially interested in me? And they were so questions like that sometimes come about. Also, somebody sent me a message in Tumblr. A few people sent me messages in Tumblr and were like, after I came out to my friend, we'd shared like tents and hotel rooms and spaces before we were roommates, and they would always change in front of me. But then after I came out, maybe it's all in my head, but I feel like I've noticed them like going around the corner or in the bathroom to change, and that just seems strange to me. And then my friend was talking to me, and he was like, he was straight, and he was like, my roommate's gay though. Sometimes I have people come over and they're like, is your roommate gonna come on to me and things like that. So sometimes the dynamic is different in that way because there's like sexual tension. Also, I got this really long message on Tumblr, which was like fascinating to me, and this was something that I hadn't considered because it's never happened to me before. Well, anyway, but they said ever since they came out and they were like the token gay friend or whatever, all their female friends like felt that was a safe they were like a safe person to express their feelings of curiosity to, and like what they said, I don't want to read it because I will feel like I don't know if that was supposed to be like anonymous or something, but it was like, well, okay, I'm actually gonna go to my Ask Box, because I'm not gonna be able to say what they said. Here, hold on for a hot second while I go to the Ask Box, or not the Ask Box, but the message thingy. They said, you're gonna be like, oh, but my female friends, I don't know whether I serve as some neutral vessel in which they can release their sexual curiosity, or maybe I'm simply sexy as fuck. And countless nights, or something, something, something. Oh, and the countless nights spent watching me wander the flat, half-dressed, is messing with their hetero. um, um, they would mournfully exclaim how much she would love to be a lesbian and then get drunk and demand to know if she found her attractive. Um, yeah, so like people feel like they can like test their curiosity. You know what I mean? Apparently that's a thing. I don't know. That's never really happened to me. But that was something for someone. So there's the sexual tension that can be different in like a straight and queer dynamic. And then there is, and then on a totally other note, the dynamic can be different simply because you don't have as much to talk about. There's less to relate on because you don't have this common ground and you don't share this thing in common. You can't relate as much to your friend in this little teeny tiny aspect. And that ultimately doesn't make or break a friendship or anything. In fact, in some regards, it can give you more to talk about because you can learn from each other, but you can't really relate to each other in this way. The most that a straight person can do is empathize instead of relate, and empathizing and relating are different. So the dynamic is weird in that way because it's like somebody who's straight will never really understand. You know what I mean? Because they can only empathize. Oh, another person said sometimes they feel like their straight friends like try to overcompensate, and they'll like go overboard with activism and like speaking up and stuff, and then they'll shoot them a glance to their gay friend and be like, "See, I support you." And it's just like awkward. It's like, okay, you don't have to try so hard. Like I said, sometimes you get awkward questions like, "Are you attracted to me? Do you find me attractive?" Just to talk about conversations. Oh, sometimes they feel like there's awkwardness, like when a straight person isn't super knowledgeable about like the queer world or something, and then a queer person tries to talk to them about something and they don't quite get it, or it's new, or it's just a little uncomfortable for them, and the conversation is like, oh, I didn't know that was like that. Oh, different. I'm not used to this now. And it just becomes like an awkward foot and mouth like situation. So And I was going to have a moral, but I forgot what it was because I'm tired. Oh, and sometimes, like, straight people also, like, hypersensitively watch what they say. uh, um, which kind of goes with the overcompensating thing. Like, they're just, like, extra careful, and it's like, dude, it's okay. Like, you can just, like, whatever. Um, but it's a fine line to walk because, like I said, sometimes they ask weird questions, but sometimes they're like hypersensitive about not about censoring themselves. So it's like a weird line to walk. So anyway, and that's kind of yeah. So there's a lot to talk about. Do you relate to any of these things, or do you have something totally new to bring to the table? How is the difference between like straight and straight or straight and queer friendship dynamics different? What is different? Oh, another person said they actually liked it because they felt like they weren't competing for partners, which I thought was really interesting. So it was kind of like a pro, and I thought that was cool. It was like, oh, okay, yeah, you're not really, you're not like two girls who are both interested in the same boy. Um, so that's kind of cool. Um, so yeah, um, yeah. What do you think? We're talking about um, the difference of dynamics between people with same sexual orientations and different sexual orientations, and this is mostly like a straight versus straight queer kind of conversation, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. That's just kind of the stock example that I'm using. It could be anything, but it's basically same sexual orientation versus different sexual orientations. Does that make any sense? Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, um, yeah, totally type as much as you want because I'm gonna finalize the script tomorrow and then film it. So I really need all the help I can get.